What's up, Unc? I gotta get your number because I got
my apologies. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Royale Urban Media. We can't be raw if we can't be real. We are your hosts, Cortez
and Chris.
Hey, thanks for tuning in to episode 17. If you can't hear us, turn your speakers up. We are super stoked about today's Talk Tuesday, y'all. It's on tough love. I'm gonna give credit. Yeah, tough love. I'm definitely gonna I like to give credit when it's due. So big ups to you, Chris, for wanting to talk about tough love, bro. Because it's definitely something that we missed over a few episodes. So let's just go ahead and dive right into it. What you got for us, Chris?
All right, I'm gonna start just asking you straight out the back. What does tough love mean to you?
You know what? I had a feeling you was gonna ask me.
You was ready. She was ready.
Listen. I came prepared, okay? All right, I'm ready because I ain't want to have to get ready. So, because I knew you was going to ask me this, first off, I wanted to go to Google and just, get the definition of tough love, okay?
Right.
So, Google's definition was promotion of a person's welfare, especially that of an addict, child, or criminal, by enforcing certain constraints on them or requiring them to take responsibility for their actions. So, you know me, I always gotta be spiritual about whatever, and I gotta go back to the Bible and just, reflect. And I've always been hearing, spare the rod, spoil the child. And that's not a good thing. Mm-hmm. Tough love is love that needs to be shown, and it's not always embraced. It's not always taken as constructive criticism. Mm-hmm. It's taken personally, especially coming from a person that's really sensitive. It's
necessary, right?
I'm so sensitive. But yes, it's very necessary.
You are sensitive.
Okay, I get it from you, sir.
You play
but well, what is tough love to you, Christopher?
So I would piggyback off what you said. I definitely think that it's taking responsibility for, or having somebody take responsibility for their actions.
Yeah.
It is discipline. It's constructive criticism. It's love that is used to build you up.
Yeah.
Even though it may hurt. Mm-hmm. We're going to talk about some examples of that. I'm not going to dive too deep into that, but that's what tough love is to me.
Okay.
So describe a time to me when someone showed you tough love.
Oh my gosh, I wasn't expecting you to put me on a spot like this. I'm being interviewed today. Tough love. I think this is really hard for me because I love my parents, okay? Mm-hmm. But I feel like tough love wasn't always shown to me in a way that I embraced it or really learned from it. I was shown tough love where it just hurt my feelings more than anything,
So you didn't really understand that it was tough love being shown?
No, I didn't really feel like that, especially because, not going in too deep, but because of what the situations were majority of the time. No, I didn't receive it as tough love because it's not what you say, it's how you say it. It's not what you do, it's how you do it.
Okay, so talk about it. Give me an example. What happened?
It's a lot of stuff that happened.
All right, the most
I'm about to say skipjack.
No, we're not skipjack this one.
Chris,
what's up,
put me
Remo?
on the spot. I don't like this.
Yo, you be putting me on the spot too. Come on.
That's not true.
Come on. What's the tough love? Come on, tell your story.
All right, can you give me an example first, and then I'll go in.
I know mommy would never do this to you, but let's just ask if your parents decided that it was time for them to ask you to move out because you were of age where you need to be taking care of yourself. Is that an example of tough love to you?
I think so.
Okay, so but
that never happened to me.
Well, no, I understand that, but let's use an example from a family member to a family member.
But why can't we use one that happened to you, and then I could just be like, oh, I can see if he's going really deep, or
okay,
or is he keeping it general?
All right, I gotta think of one that I'm comfortable talking about in front of everybody.
See, y'all, listen to Chris.
Hey, yo,
Okay.
What's up, man? I got you. I'm gonna bring you on the show. I got you.
Yeah, it's royalurbanmedia@gmail.com. And you won't be on the show, but you're more than welcome.
I'll text you the email. I'm gonna get you on. What's up, Kenny? Dang, both Kennys on here. What's up, other Kenny?
Hey, Kenny.
All right. So my tough love story. You know what? I always talk about Mike on here, but we're gonna go back to Mike, man. My homeboy Mike. I was doing something that we both knew I had no business doing, and he warned me about what I was doing, but he didn't stop me from doing what I was doing because he knew that I would learn the lesson eventually from what I was doing.
Yeah.
And I kind of was pissed off with him when I realized that he knew better and could have told me better. And, you know, when he didn't tell me, I'm like, yo, why didn't you just tell me?
But you got mad at him? And he knew you was doing something wrong, but you didn't?
Well, he knew because we was living together at the time. So he knew what I was, I was doing something I had no business doing. But I got pissed off because he knew and he didn't say anything to me. I was kind of upset, like, yo, why you ain't just tell me so I would have stopped doing that, or I didn't do what I was doing.
Yeah.
And without getting too deep, he was like, yo, I did what you did, so I knew, but I knew that if I told you, you weren't gonna stop.
You wasn't gonna learn that way,
right? So he was showing me tough love as a homeboy, as a brother, to be like, yo, keep doing what you're doing, and you're gonna see what happens in the end, and you'll, hopefully you learn the lesson. Some people do, some people don't. Because I ain't trying to go not that deep, not with that one.
Yeah. You got some comments. Chris got comments over there. Man. What they want to know? What they saying?
Can you just wave? Keep the grind, y'all. They not commenting on what we talking about.
It's okay, y'all. Before we dive deeper into this, I just want to ask if y'all have experienced anything with family or friends, that's an example of tough love that was shown to you, or you had to show tough love to someone else. Go ahead and leave some comments down below. Don't forget, you can always call in and talk to us. 1-855-493-6499. Okay, we waiting to hear from you. But
I'm gonna go deeper.
Okay. Ooh, we going deeper. Okay.
I had an incident with my dad one time. I was like, I want to say I was either 17 or no, actually I was 18. I was 18 at the time. We had got into an argument about some money, and we as we were going back and forth, I had some things that I was irritated with my dad about that kind of built up over some time, and the argument about the money just kind of was like the straw that broke the camel's back. So when we got to arguing, man, my mouth was terrible that night. I said whatever I wanted, whatever came to mind at the time. It just came
filthy.
out.
Filthy.
It was to the point where we was staring each other in the face.
Ooh.
We was toe to toe right there, and it was like, if he swung on me, I just felt like I was gonna fight my dad that night.
I'm so sorry, Dad. On Chris's behalf, Dad. I'm sorry.
And it got to the point where he didn't swing, but you could see, like, you could tell we was both so angry, and I had my dad's
y'all
temper.
Was restraining yourself.
We both was doing everything we could to kind of fight, but not fight.
How powerful
to keep it just as a verbal thing. And he kicked me out.
Whoa!
He had told me that I had to go. That if I didn't want to, do what he told me to do and didn't want to listen, that I could go. There's the door. And what age was you? I was 18.
I thought you said 17.
No, I was 18. I know I was 18.
Okay.
He didn't kick me out before I was 18.
Okay.
I was 18, and I was thinking about now. I don't want to say we wasn't out here, or my dad didn't kick everybody out, but for the boys,
yeah.
If we acted a certain way for long enough time. he ain't put his hands on us no more. He, it's like there's the door. So when he did that, I'ma just, I was hurt, but I was still angry. So I wasn't like, I didn't feel the pain just yet until my mother pulled up, and I got in the car with her. And she, of course, when she called my dad to ask him to talk about what happened, why he was kicking me out, he didn't want to tell her. And I didn't want to tell her, when I got in the car. But I sat in the front seat of that car, and I'm just thinking about it. And I was so angry with him. I did not feel anything. But what happened was gradually over some time, maybe a year and a half or so, which is a long time, I know. But when I get mad, especially about what we was mad about, we was mad at each other for a long
Your name's Hawk
time.
for a reason.
Right, okay. So when I was mad about that, man, we ain't talked for a long time, but gradually I started to understand where my dad was coming from when we was having that disagreement. And I appreciate him for, not for kicking me out, but for taking the high road with me in that instance, because I wouldn't have learned that lesson any other way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that definitely was tough love. And it took for him to be mad, for me to be mad, and for us to not speak and not say anything, for me to go through what I went through to find that out.
Yeah.
That was
wow.
That was
wow.
That was a tough love story.
Dad, again, I'm so sorry on Chris's behalf, because he shouldn't be staring at you like that. But it's in the past. It's in the past, so that's okay.
I ain't swing.
Good. I can think about one time, and it took me a minute to even get to this point, because I was not a bad child. Like, that's not to toot my own horn, but I was not a bad girl. But I was young, and I was suffering from puppy love. And our houses, like our old houses, used to face each other, like our backs. Like everybody had to share the same outside space or grounds or whatever. Okay. And this little dude that I used to like, he started liking my friend, and my friend started liking him, and I was really upset about that. So like, listen, we all used to go outside. You know me, Chris. Like, I was a tomboy. I wanted to play football, basketball, all of that. So I was kind of pretending that I was okay with everything, but I took it out on her in dodgeball.
Oh my gosh.
And
that is not tough love.
Listen. The story's not over. The story's not over. So, y'all remember the green boxes that everybody used to sit on outside and everything?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Got the AC unit.
Yeah. I ain't never know that, but we just called it the green box because everybody used to huddle around. We used to sit on. We used to play. Like, yeah. So, I had the ball, and somehow she got it.
You knocked her head into the AC unit?
I chased her and pushed her as hard as I could. Like, I'm not proud of it, you know? And she, like, when I say, like, her head was so close to this green box, like, it would have been over. Like, my anger back then was just, Lord have mercy, thank you for your grace. But
you tried to kill that girl.
Look, I wasn't trying to kill her, but I was very angry. And
you probably wasn't trying to kill her, but had she knocked her head up beside that green box,
and I ain't happy about it.
You would not. You wouldn't be here today.
Mommy,
to tell this story.
When I say mommy was pissed,
because you pushed her,
she punished me for almost a month.
That's it.
And she made me write her a letter and hand deliver it to her.
Let me tell you something. I didn't see punishments. I done been punished longer than
Listen,
that wasn't no
you
punishment.
You a guy. I'm a female.
My brother got punished for almost 3 years before.
Y'all guys, because y'all be going overboard.
Y'all did, sir.
Guys go overboard.
Look, we gonna have to have my brother on the show one day so we can talk about all the tough love that he's been through. Cause look,
come on the show, Keith.
I don't got nothing on him when it comes to tough love. I can tell you. Keith can tell you about some tough love.
Come on, Keith, bro. We waiting on you. Come on the show. Royale Urban Media. Don't forget to email Royale Urban Media at gmail.com. But okay. So, Chris, do you believe that corporal punishment ties into tough love?
Hold up, you just said a word I don't know. What's corporal?
Corporal punishment? Getting physical with your children.
Oh,
beating
okay.
them.
Okay.
Getting that belt.
Does it tie in with tough love?
Yes.
Absolutely. Discipline is necessary.
So?
Yeah, I thought I said that in the beginning of my definition, but if I didn't, yes.
I said that.
Right, because so if you are not willing to discipline your child, then you are not willing to do whatever it takes to get them to learn a lesson. And I think it's important that you teach them the lesson before they learn it on their own. In some instances, because, well, I'll tell you something. Me and my brother, well, me coming up as a young man, I hardly ever got a physical beating because I was a good kid, or in my estimation, I was a good kid. I think my parents would agree. I didn't do too much.
I'll have to ask them myself.
But I know, there's my friends and family. I know people who got way more physical punishments than I did. Now I will say,
than you, huh?
I will say, me and my brother knew if my dad caught us and we was fighting, or after we fought, somebody told him that we was fighting, automatically that was a beating. Automatically, it wasn't even no question about it. It was automatically that was a beating. And we knew the amount of nervousness, anxiousness, anxiety you had built up. I mean, you didn't think about it sometimes we did. Like after I hit Keith, it was already in my mind. It kind of struck me like I felt my dad hitting me back because I hit him.
Okay, so with that being said, do you agree that when parents say, let me just say it's more than one child, more than two, more than three, or whatever, and it's like something go wrong, but the parent don't know who it was, and you're like, I'm gonna beat all y'all so I know I got the right one. Is that okay or no?
I mean, I would say it's okay because 9 times out of 10, what you're going to do is scare them into snitching on each other.
Okay.
I ain't never had no instance like that. A lot of times, if all of us was in trouble, my older sister got the beating.
She got the beating?
She had to take it for everybody.
Y'all going to beat the girl?
Because she know better, and she's the leader, so we following after her. So if she did something wrong, we followed her.
Y'all followed up.
And that's how they kind of...
Tragic.
That's how that kind of was taken on. So yeah, we ain't all. Never did we all get a beating the same day at the same time.
For real?
Not once.
No, I'm sorry. It was funny.
You also got to remember, my older sister is 12 years older than me. So
wow.
Yeah. So it's kind of unrealistic for that to happen.
Y'all said that.
Now we did some stuff together, but we ain't never get a beating for it. We was kind of firm talking. We was. Dad,
you hear this?
Look, I hope my dad not listening to this one.
I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna send it to him.
Oh my God, you're doing too much. All right, let me ask you. Describe a time when you showed tough love to somebody.
Oh my gosh, you and these questions.
Come on, let's hear it. The people want to know.
I'm trying to figure it out. I was never asked this before. Wow, it's first time for everything. Let me think about this. Look, and if I take too long, you just dive in. You say what you guys say. When I show tough love.
You want a second to think about it? I can tell you.
I need a thought. Yeah.
Okay. What do I feel comfortable sharing with y'all? So a time I showed tough love to somebody. You know what? I've helped plenty of people throughout the course of my life, and I feel like there's been people that I've helped that needed me, and there's people that I've helped that was using me. I remember discovering somebody lying to me about something they needed help with, and when I figured it out, I ain't telling them I figured it out. I kind of played the fool a little while longer just to see how much are you willing to do?
How long they was going to keep it up?
How much are you willing to take?
Yeah,
using me, and I kind of did something where I picked my time and my moment, where I knew how bad they needed me, and I refused to help them.
Vengeance is mine, says the Lord.
That was not. But see, that was not me being vengeful.
Okay.
In all honesty, it wasn't. It was like,
you knew.
Well, yeah, yes, I knew, but at the same time, I also knew that at that time, they was in a position where they had no choice but to be honest about everything prior to that. And so, when they kind of was honest about it, I was like, okay. So I let you know, like, well, thank you for telling me. Thank you for being honest about it.
Yeah.
It wasn't like I didn't already know, because I did my homework before I, brought up that conversation. But in that instance, I also told them, like, I can't help you. And they cried and begged and pleaded, but I didn't help them because you was not willing to do anything different in light of me. And you were going to continue to take and take and take. And people don't really realize, like, I pride myself in telling people, like, it's not hard to be a good person, you know. When you do something for somebody, you don't have to remind them what you did for them, and you don't got to ask for it back.
Yeah. At
the same time, when you go out to do something for somebody, if you truly appreciate it, you have a little bit of, what is it called? Remorse or recoil a little bit. Like, you don't want to ask. You hesitate to ask because you don't want to ask for too much or be needy or make them feel like you use them and overuse them. Especially if it's not like your significant other or some type of partner to you. You can ask for too much at some point, but when you recognize that you ask for a lot and they do a lot for you, and then you give back or you acknowledge that, it shows that you're not using them and that you care about them, because you even afraid to ask them to be there for you. You know what I mean? And then it also shows that you care about wanting to be there for them. Yeah. But, this person was not like that. Did not care or did not ask or did not think twice when in need, just asking. And to a certain extent, it's okay to be comfortable knowing that somebody got your back, but not when you don't have the thought process to say, let me do for you. Let me be there for you. You know what I'm saying? So, I feel like that was tough love, and that it's not that I don't care about you. It's that I need you to understand that when you see somebody that do care about you, you don't use them. You don't continue to just take. Yeah. Because nothing in the world is free and everything has a cost. Every single thing. Even when you see a sign that says free, they ain't make that sign for free. They didn't do anything that they giving you for free. Somebody had to pay for it. Somebody had to work for it. Somebody took a loss on it. Yeah. And that loss was worth it for them. So that was my time when I showed somebody tough love. And I'm sure that they made it out of that tough time, but it wasn't on my dime.
See, and I struggle with that. Like, if you're not my child, I struggle with showing somebody tough love. I don't even know if I can show somebody else tough love and it's not my child, because, okay, I feel like when it's directed to another adult, I kind of feel like that's when it becomes either selfish or vengeful. And I'm not saying you, but for me personally, I just don't want to do somebody else wrong if I feel like they've done me wrong. Now, for my child, I'm disciplining you. I'm trying to help you, and I'm trying to teach you, to be a good person. Thank you. Be a good person, But like I said, it's different towards an adult. Like, okay, better. You know what you're doing is wrong. God sees everything, so it's not for me to bash you about it or get back at you.
I'm sorry, but let me ask you this: what is really the difference, though, when you're talking about a child or your child versus just another adult? Because if you love that person, then you would.
But you could be doing something for somebody who you don't love in that way.
Okay, well, in what way? Because I'm not talking. Let's call it a platonic love. If you seriously care about them and their well-being, all right, I'll give you an example. I got homeboys who I'll say they gamble. I think that's the best way they say it. They gamble privileges, opportunities, and to not put all their business out there. When they go through certain things, I'm more of the person that kind of explains to them why they're in the situation that they're in. Not because I did anything or because I contributed to them, and it's not really something I can help them with. Right. but I can explain to you why this happened. So, or for example, I'll share a story that I hope he don't get upset about this, but I got a homeboy that at the time he was still living at home with his mom.
Yeah.
And his mom was asking him to do certain things around the house and to help out with his little brother and just different things. And through the course of time that he was living with her, he would call me frustrated about all the stuff that she would ask him to do. And it's like, yo, if you got a problem with the stuff moms is asking you to do, move out. Like, bro, you old enough to live on your own.
Yeah.
Move out.
Yeah.
Otherwise, shut the you know what up.
Yeah.
Because you gotta do whatever she asks you to do.
Yeah.
I don't care if she making you pay the whole rent and she only pay the BGE and the water bill. That's mom's. That's the rules while you live in her house. And when you move out, there's gonna be rules to doing that. And it's like, in that sense, I had to remind him that if you don't have mom to be a sense and your partner in that sense to help you take care of the house and take care of bills, you would have to do it all on your own.
Yeah.
So in a sense, that was me showing him tough love to remind him, like, this is what you would have to do if you weren't doing what she's asking you to do. You get what I'm saying? So it's instances like that to me.
So, okay, does constructive criticism play in tough love?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay,
and
then
that's
we getting
just
somewhere
that
then.
example.
Then we getting somewhere, Christopher.
So, I mean, I'm sure you had instances, I know you've had instances with me where you had to show me tough love.
Oh, name one.
We're not going to do this.
Oh, did somebody say skipped it?
It's so many. It's so many.
The show not long enough.
Not long enough for all that.
Okay, you know what? Okay, we at 7:20. Okay, listen. I really did want to get into this though. Like, we're talking about tough love and disciplining your child, and this is a really serious thing. We often hear it takes a village. It takes a village. It takes a village, right? So, how would Mr. Woodward? This goes for you too. How would you feel? Let's just say your child, they get into some mess with another child, they close friends, you know, or cousins or whoever, and their parent decides to discipline your child without you being present. And it's not like they did more to your child than they did to their own child, but they just stepped in because they knew something was wrong. And it's like, okay, you know, your parent not here, so are you? That's not okay in your book?
No, it's not.
Okay.
Today is not the same as it was back, really, even when we was coming up, honestly. And
Well, actually,
That
yeah,
is
they
true.
did used to do that back in the day. This really just came to my mind.
To be honest with you, even when I was a little boy, it's actually, I think, when it really started to change, because I remember when I was 4 and 5 years old, I had a babysitter who my parents gave her permission
To hit you.
to, if we acted out,
Yeah.
she could put her hands on us.
Amen.
Now, to a certain extent, and she was good with it, because, and like, now that I'm an adult and I can think about it, she never spanked me, but she would pinch my arm if she needed to. She didn't really want to spank us anyway. I don't believe she spanked my brother, but she told on him that he got a beating.
Yeah, afterwards. Yeah.
Yeah.
But she was pretty good on towing that line. But then there were other kids that she used to watch, you know, with my brother and myself, that would do stuff that she would have to beat them. So
okay.
now today, I can tell you right now, if I had a son and somebody was watching him, or somebody, you know, he was out somewhere and he did something, and another parent was involved where they felt the need to put their hands on my son or my daughter, doesn't really matter. I would have a problem with that without you talking to me first.
Okay.
Because everybody's perspective on things are different. Just like we have conversations on the show,
That's
and
true,
our
too.
opinions, you know, we agree on it to a certain extent, and then we have parts of it that we disagree with.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm gonna be the disciplinary for my son until he's of a certain age, and even then, when he's at that age, just like, you don't have no reason to be putting your hands on him. We'll deal with it when we get home. You know what I'm saying? So no, I would have a problem with that.
Okay.
Now, I've
I can
actually
respect
even
that.
been in a relationship where I had to watch my significant other's son at the time, and I actually had a little bit of a problem because I couldn't discipline him, and because he was he wasn't bad. I don't want to say he was bad, but he would do things when we were together and when we were out that to me warranted
you to put
discipline.
Some hands on him.
Okay.
Because like I can tell you a time specifically, we was getting out the car. He used to like for us to go to McDonald's after he got out of school, and he would want a Happy Meal. He didn't really want the Happy Meal. He wanted the toy in the Happy
In
Meal.
the Happy Meal,
Yeah.
right.
So this one particular day, I ain't have it. I ain't had an extra $6 or $7, to get the toy and the stuff,
all
because
that,
it's not just him.
Okay.
He has a
Everybody
younger
else.
sister
Yeah.
and an older brother.
And so
Okay.
you had to get them
So
all.
exactly, and you can't just get
One
so
Happy Meal and
right.
say share.
So I'm like,
Here's 2 fries. One piece of a burger.
No, 1 and a half for chicken nuggets.
yeah, I ain't had, and I did the world for them. So at the
Yeah.
time, I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, okay, I don't have it to get you a Happy Meal and your brother a Happy Meal and your little sister a Happy Meal. And then I can't come in the house with all that and not have nothing for your mother. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
Right.
no, we gonna cook tonight, and he had a fit. He was in the back seat of my car, screaming, yelling.
So the mom
pulling-
wasn't with y'all.
No, nope.
Okay.
I was picking him up from school, bringing him home.
Okay.
Because at that time I got off earlier than her.
Okay.
So, I did what I was supposed to do. But when we get to the house, there was nowhere to park on the closer side of the street, so we had to park on the far side of the street.
Oh gosh.
And mind you, so his younger sister is in a car, what is it called?
Car seat.
She's in the crate. I said a crate.
The crib. The stroller.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's a infant.
Okay, she's infant.
So she in a car
She's
seat.
not even walking yet. Right.
Yeah, right.
But okay.
It was a stroller with wheels on it.
No, I wasn't carrying
Do
all that.
you pick
Okay.
it up and put it in the
Yes,
car and
yes.
take it out? It's a car
It's
seat.
a
Okay.
car seat.
Car
Yeah,
seat.
it's a car
It's,
You know
it's
what?
actually a system. They call it like a car seat system or
Yeah.
stroller system, but
Okay.
It's right.
She
a
was in
carrying
that- 'cause it-
system.
'cause
Yeah.
The courier. That's what it is.
Okay.
All right, so
Courier,
she's
yes.
in the courier. So I gotta carry her with one arm, and I'm trying to hold his arm with the other arm. I knew that because he was upset, I had to get her out first, because I had to make sure when I open his door that he don't run off.
He don't
from
run
me.
off and do something crazy. Yeah.
Man, when I tell you, he tried to run off anyway. He ducking under me, trying, juke me and stuff. And I grabbed his arm, and when I grabbed it, I have him, but he was able to slip his arm through his jacket. So
And
now all
get
I got
out.
is the jacket. Mind you, I have his sister in my other arm.
no, Chris.
We in the middle of the street. It's a big old truck coming.
No.
And it took everything in me to not, discipline him right then and there.
That stuff is scary.
I grabbed him forcefully, but I grabbed him, jacked him up, put him under my arm, and he's crying, screaming, whatever. I ain't care. Got him, got him in the house, got his sister in the house, got her situated, and I calmed him down or whatever. And I called his mom, and I'm like, look, I don't know where you at, I don't know what you're doing, but you gotta come home right now. Stop what you're doing. Tell him you gotta leave early. You have to come home. I had a hard day already that day, and this was not the first battle that I had with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was tired. I was fed up at that point. When I tell you,
Wow.
it was so frustrating because I all I could think about was, if something happened to you, what do I tell your mom?
That's it, baby.
It's
That's
nothing
it.
I could tell her
That's it.
that's gonna make you forgive the fact that you trusted me to come home with your kids, and I was able to come home with everybody except him. There's nothing I
There's
could tell
nothing
you
can say.
that's gonna
Yeah.
make you forgive me for that.
And
It
that's
is.
why it goes back to that tough love. If you're not a parent to your child, freak accidents occur
And
pretty often. I know it's certain things you cannot control. I get that. But when you have a child that acts out, there's no respect for an adult. I mean, how can you even send your child off?
It was after
how can you?
we had that conversation,
It's
and when I said that to her, like she had this look on her face, like she was sad, cause I think it's
The thought
at
of
that
it.
moment.
Yeah,
it's
the thought
when
of
it
it's
is
when it hit her.
tragic.
Yeah.
And I said to her, I gotta go, and I left. I ain't call her, I ain't texting nothing. When I checked my phone again, I had like 53 missed calls from her.
Of course.
So, you know, if obviously I called her back, we talking, and she told me, she's like, you know what, Chris, you right. And I'm sorry that that you've been dealing with this. I'm sorry that you had to deal with this. When I really think about it, you're right. If he don't listen to you when you with him, then
when he's with you.
Right. When he's with me, if he don't listen to me, we had to figure out something that I need to be able to do, because I didn't have a moment that time to call her. I'm trying to hold the phone, hold him, hold the baby. It's too much. I'm one person.
Then the older brother. I'm sorry, Mr.
Well, the older brother, thank God, he's old enough. He had a key. He was already in the house waiting for us.
Oh, wow.
But at the same time, I ain't like I could call him and have him come outside.
But
and get
that's
his brother.
another thing. Like, with my 5 brothers, my mother be like, nah, y'all older ones, y'all gonna be there and protect the little, or help whoever is babysitting,
Well, he was old enough that he could be at the house by himself, but not old enough that he could step in the way that we needed somebody to step in with his brothers.
No. I'm not saying discipline, but just to, like, you got the baby. You got stuff going on. Like, at least to
it's
get your brother, hug him, put him in a holder.
I understand.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, you gotta meet this one, and obviously you never will. But if you were to meet this one, it ain't no hugging.
Go ahead, Mr. Wilbur.
When he get like that, you gonna have
full on war.
Yeah, when he get like that, that's what it's gonna be until he cried out or calmed down or whatever the case may be. It ain't.
I think the mother has to handle that then.
So like I said, what happened was we talked about it, and she let me know that we had different agreement on the discipline after that. And it worked to a certain extent, and to a certain extent it didn't. Because what ended up happening was he began to fear me more so than just respect when I asked him to do something. And to be honest with you, that's exactly why I say you had to discipline your children, because I know personally how much I cared about him. And he knows that too. She knew that. But because she waited so long to allow that discipline and that structure to be instilled, it came to him like, what is this? It wasn't respected the same way. So, yeah.
I understand
that was, but I knew, to me, my dad used to tell us, we got a lot of beatings when we were younger. I'm not gonna say a lot, but we had way more when we were younger than we had when we were older, because my dad told me, like, he felt like if he did it when we was young, by the time we were older, all he had to do was look at us a certain way, and we already knew, straighten up, like, all right, Dad not playing no more, because if we didn't, he would still beat us. He always told us at the 10 years old, he not beating us no more. And I got a couple beatings at the 10. So
yeah, of course, of course you did. My son did.
He said that, but. What's up, Shatero?
I think that one of the main things, especially when you're dealing in a relationship of when you're with a partner who has kids. And
we got somebody calling in.
Yeah, we got somebody. They calling when I want to say something.
Because Chris ain't give you a chance to.
This is my show.
He said this is his station, though. He got the kingdom. Wow, I actually really like this topic.
Well, thank you, Cortez. I appreciate it.
Yeah, whatever. Okay.
But, I don't know who that was. Hopefully they call back.
Okay.
But when I dealt with somebody, it was only one kid child that I hit, and he turned out to be a wonderful man of God. Of course. Now they calling again when I'm giving them the story. Don't worry about it.
It's not for you. It's for me.
So we all need to hire somebody to come on and answer the phones for us. I don't know how I would. I think it's just a certain way you do things. Somebody, if King really did something that him. Oh shucks. Hello there.
Hey,
Thanks
Ma.
for calling in.
Welcome to Rum TV.
How are you guys?
We're blessed, baby. How are you?
We good.
I'm blessed also. Thank you.
Always. What's on your mind, Dom?
I just want to say, y'all are speaking on a lot of interesting topics this evening, and I'm trying to concentrate because I have so much going on here.
Oh.
But what exactly are you speaking on at this moment?
Someone else disciplining your child if needed.
Oh.
How do you feel about
Okay,
that?
Mitch. Okay, thank you for asking, Chris. Here's how I feel.
How would you feel if somebody disciplined your child without your permission?
Honestly, I think unless you're a parent who really don't have a close knit relationship with your child, I think sometimes some parents are like, you're welcome, doesn't care who discipline their children and how. But I think parents like myself who's like really close knit with my kids, depending on who it is, like if it's a close family member, if it's like an older sibling who's disciplining a child, I don't have a problem with it. I really don't. Because I really feel like it takes a village to raise a child, and it does.
Speak on it.
You know, just like in my situation, having my youngest son, who's so much younger than his older siblings, I feel like it is their responsibility, their duty, and they're just placed to help me in raising him. I don't have a problem with it because, like I tell him, if I leave here, if God takes me today or tomorrow, I need to know that he's, you know, obedient enough, responsible, you know, caring enough to listen to his siblings, and that they can take care of him and keep him in his place, because this world is crazy, these streets are crazy, and I don't want him to go down the wrong path in life. And I want him to respect his siblings because I know that they have enough love for him that they will take care of him properly.
Right.
Right.
And I agree with that.
I can understand that. I won't disagree with that. But I don't have kids alone, so I can't even say that.
I can't really relate.
Yeah, because I mean, I guess if I had, you know, kids that was significantly older than their younger siblings, then I definitely could see that. But for me personally, I can't have nobody disciplining my kids.
What about another adult disciplining your child? Like, say they out with their friends and, you know.
I hope you wash your hands.
Oh my gosh.
What's up, Lo?
Kim, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I'm sorry. So I got so much going on right now. You're telling me. Okay.
It's okay.
But yes, what's wrong?
So another adult
I'm sorry.
disciplining your child. Are you okay with that? Yay or nay?
Another adult meaning who? Like, who is this other adult?
Let's just say that your child is out with their friend and they do something really bad.
A friend's parent.
Ooh, that's a hard one. That's a hard call right there.
That's the one I say no to.
Yeah, because it depends on who this parent is, how long I've known this parent, how close we are, you know. I mean, because anybody, you can't just trust anybody just from your child.
Exactly.
You really can't. Because you don't know what's going on with that person in their mind, in their life, you know, and if they take something out where they discipline your child too harshly because there's something else going on with them.
There you go.
So
Let's say they don't do it too harshly, though.
You know, you can't say if because you don't know until that time comes. You really don't know, so I wouldn't even take a chance of that. I feel like if the child does something, that person needs to be firm enough with them and say, look, I'm going to tell your parent, your mom or dad, when you get home, and they're going to deal with you. And if the person that you know just how severe the act was that the child did, then you know how to handle the child from there.
Okay.
That's right.
I can dig it. Okay, love. Well,
Yeah,
thank you
I
so
don't believe
much.
in anybody just disciplining your child. I don't believe in that.
I mean, I can agree to a certain extent.
Yeah, I understand. But I really wanted to touch on the tough love thing too. But I don't know if y'all going to go back to that or.
Well, what's on your mind about
I
the
don't
tough
know.
love?
I was just going to say, you know how y'all always accuse me of being too lenient, you know, with y'all coming up.
You're very lenient.
You know, and yeah, and I always felt like, you know, it was kind of hard for me to show y'all tough love because if I showed it too tough, my feelings would be hurt. So I guess I was one of the weaker parents. So I know a lot of parents out there do show tough love, you know, because they want to teach their child right from wrong and let them know that everything in life doesn't come easy. You know, and sometimes you have to feel that force of, this is what can happen. These could be the consequences or circumstances of you not doing something that you're supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I do know those rules, and regulations do apply with parenting, but as a parent, for me, the way I am, it was just always kind of tough for me because I would be hurt and feeling like I'm hurting my kids.
That's so
Right.
sweet and so soft. Oh, wow. Well, we thank you so much, Lovely, for calling in. That
Yes.
was so sweet of you.
Thank you for calling in the Royal Urban Media.
Royale. You gotta say Rum TV. It's Royale Urban Media. Thank you so much
Well, I'm
for
glad to be able
joining.
to call into Royale. Television. Love you guys. Look forward to seeing you soon. Have a blessed night.
Thank you, babe.
you. You
You
too.
too. Dang, he didn't even give my mother a second.
All right, so
Mr. Woodward, don't do that. Wait, did he turn our mics off? Hold up, I can't hear myself no more. Turn me up. I like my mic to be loud.
you play too much.
Okay,
So,
Can I get back or not?
get in here.
Okay.
do you remember what you was gonna say?
Yes, I do.
Ooh.
It has not went anywhere. When you're dealing with other people's kids, and I went with probably a couple girls who had kids, and two of them pretty much I raised.
Okay.
Two of them, and the child, the son child, the man child. He, I was supposed to marry his mother. I didn't marry his mother, but I had to beat him. He was really bad.
How old was he at the time?
He
Do you
was
remember?
7.
7? Okay.
He was 7 years old.
That's a good age.
Now, the thing about this situation, though,
Well, hold on. What did he do? What did he do to
you
make
know
have to
what? I don't know, but he did something for me to beat him.
It merited
It
over the
merited,
play
but
them hands.
I don't.
You ain't
do
gonna
that.
beat him for no reason. I ain't trust you.
Yeah. I'm just not that. But the tripping part is that his grandparents stepped in and said
That you ain't had the right to beat
that
him.
I shouldn't have did that. And I'm like, well, if I'm going to marry her, then I need to discipline him.
Mm-hmm.
It just comes to twofold. There's no need in me going into this thing, and I'm not there.
Right.
You know. It just.
I don't disagree with you.
It's just certain things. Just like if my son is with his mother and she got a significant other, I would want him to respect him. Now, the thing about it, I don't think that significant other guy, her boyfriend, should touch him. Let me do that because he's old enough. Now, that don't say because he's not married to her. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Plus, he didn't raise him. Plus, he's older
But
now.
you know what?
It's a
What's
certain
funny?
age. It's a certain age.
So-
whereas though, if the child is a certain age, then I'm hands off. Like, hey, you better call his father. I'm not touching. But if it's a little kid and you're molding them because the structure, especially if they're around you like that, I
'Cause you don't
never
wanna
hit
grow
none
up
of my
and let
daughters.
Needs to be order.
discipline.
Needs
Never
to be
hit
order.
none of my daughters.
But you know what? So it's funny because we kind of touched on this just a little bit a couple episodes ago, and we kind of creeped into this topic. And I explained to y'all that this is why when a man and a woman gets together, especially a woman who has children, there needs to be a conversation that
has to be.
that has to happen. In fact, I'm gonna tell y'all when it was when Tees brought up the topic of the young lady asking for $20 for the field trip.
Yeah. And
the guy had
said
told her
no.
no. Yeah.
Call
And
him.
some
Call
of
the
us
father.
some of us agreed that it was okay for him to say no. And then
Yeah,
some of
I
us
agree with that.
disagreed and said that he should have
Well.
just gave it $20.
No.
But I'm gonna bring it back to this point. So the reason for that communication that needs to happen is because you want to involve this man into the investment of your child and the discipline and the structure of his life. And if he is involved in it financially, then to me, without that communication, and I mean, he is playing a fool to a certain extent. You know what I mean?
right.
Because
It's half in, half out.
exactly, you telling him, oh yeah, you could pay for this, you could pay for that, you could give us money so that he can have for this field trip. But now when it's time to discipline him,
no, don't
for
say
him to
nothing.
disrespect me.
From a mom's perspective, you know, I honestly do not agree with you guys. Like, I agree, you know.
Now,
but from a woman's and a mom's perspective, you know, for another man to hit on their child, because, you know, a lot of men, they say, okay, I'm not going to hit on the daughter. I'll just raise my voice and that'll scare her. But for another man to hit on a child, a little boy that's not his, it kind of, it makes that little boy kind of look at this man that you're marrying, that you feel a certain way about him, but you can't expect your child to feel the same way about this man.
But see, that's where it comes in, that there has to build relationship.
And I agree with
exactly
that. It needs to be way more reassurance from that step parent than it is from the biological parent. That's just what I believe.
We're gonna have an episode on that. We're gonna have to do an episode.
This would have been an
episode. Now I have a situation. It was my neighbor that lived across the street from me, and that situation happened where the girl boyfriend touched his daughter, beat his daughter. Mm-hmm. He went over there, fought the boy, and beat the boy up. Mm. The boy came back.
Hold on. I'm sorry. I missed that.
Okay. It was my neighbor. Okay. His baby mama had a boyfriend that touched his daughter.
Okay.
The daughter came to him and said, hey, Dad, you know, blah, 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 hit me and everything. He went over there to the baby mama house, beat the boy up. Okay. After that, the boy, probably a couple days later, killed him. See what I'm saying? Because, and that's him. That was the guy. I was in right with the dude going over there saying, hey, man, don't touch my daughter. Mm-hmm. You know, beating him up, whatever. But then that's where you got to know what type of baby mama you dealing with.
What you dealing with.
Because, see, the thing about it, if she dealt with a dude like that just comes straight out and kill another dude because he just wanted to do whatever. Because pretty much that's what it was. And the dude was disciplined. He would say, man, just don't touch my daughter. See what I'm saying? Now, because that's a touchy situation and we don't know how with the girl that, you know, it's just touchy. Because that's a bad situation. No kids, man. It's like, no, because you can, but there has to be some rules.
It's
and
boundaries.
You have to understand that now with the father was saying, hey, you didn't protect my daughter, mother.
What's up, KL?
You didn't protect my daughter, so now I got to step in as the father and do what I got to do, even if it costs me my life.
Right.
Which it did cost him his life.
Wow.
And I commend him for that, because I probably would have
did the same thing.
But at the same time,
it was the mother.
Well,
that's almost like.
But you can't. Let me say this, and let me take you down the street.
That's almost like your child getting molested, though.
Well, no. I get what you're saying. I get exactly what you're saying. What I'm saying though is, this is why I said it would be so hard for me to have a child. Period. Because once you and your significant other split up, that you share a child with, it is her right and her authority, her ability to trust someone else to, if she chooses to, give them the power, the authority to discipline your child. You cannot overthrow, that authority that she has to give that power to someone else. However, in me saying that, you still, if you feel as though that, if your daughter or your son act up and you want your baby mother to have, call me for the discipline so that you be there, that's fine. But what you gonna do if she don't do it and somebody put their hands on her and they was given permission to put their hands on your child?
That's where I disagree with you on that, because my thing is that when I married my ex, my daughter, she was really young. She was like 2 years old. I wanted to meet the father. The reason why I wanted to meet the father is because I wanted to let him know that, hey, your daughter's in my care, and I'm not going to do nothing to harm her.
I'm not trying to take your place.
I'm not trying to take your place. You're still the father.
Yeah.
Whatever. And the dude, to this day, we are pretty much good friends. Probably better friends than I am with my ex.
First impressions are lasting.
And the thing about it, because I did that with him, and I expected, even with the guy that's with my son's mother now, I would want to have that conversation, but I don't think we're ever going to have that conversation.
Which is what I was getting into. Like, that's a very specific situation where you had the ability to have that conversation. But what if you get into a situation where you weren't able to have that conversation with that man, and he overstepped his boundary or was given the power, by the mom to discipline the child?
But see, that's the thing. That's what type of woman that you get with. See, I knew that my ex, right? Because you got to get with a young lady, if you're gonna have a child by her, that that's going to not have that happen. That say, hey, no, he has a daddy. Mm-hmm. I'm on it because my ex has done it. Has called me up, say, hey, you need to come get Jeremiah. Mm-hmm. Guy didn't do nothing. I don't know if the guy was there or not. He probably was. Yeah, but he never stepped in. Because that's not his boundary. First of all, that's where the marriage thing come into play too. Because now, when you're married, now there's certain rights that you should have.
Granted, yeah.
That's granted that shouldn't be granted. Because I was marrying her, I felt the right to say, "Hey, Dad, this is your daughter." Now, when you're not married, them rights are not there.
So let me take you here. So in your position, you went to the father and had that conversation.
I told her, I said I want to meet her father.
Right. And so that's fine, daddy.
Right. Because I'm getting ready to marry her. Right.
But what if it's a situation where you are the father? Now
that's the situation I'm in now.
But what I'm saying is, though, if he didn't have that conversation with you, you don't know anything about him, and that happens. That's what I'm talking about.
But see, that's the thing. I'm saying that because by my ex already knowing how I am, I'm a nice dude. But when it comes to my son, hello, I'm dying. Mm-hmm. That's it. I'm going all out. The thing about it, because he's my flesh and blood, I will die for him. He's the next generation. He has to go on, not me. You know what I'm saying? So the bottom line is that once the ex or the significant other or your partner already knows how you are, think about it. That guy, my neighbor, went over there. She already knew that guy was going to do exactly what he was going to do. She probably wasn't expecting her boyfriend to do what he did, but she knew that boy, that he was going to get involved later because that's his daughter. And the thing about it, then now you're getting with a man who has the ability that now he has killed the father of your child. Mm-hmm. So how do you stay with him? If you stay with him,
honestly,
that's just
seen crazy things.
You seen crazy things in that?
I sure have. I'm not lying. I have.
Man,
I have. All right, y'all. I do want to read this story.
Okay, go ahead.
That's on Tough Love. And then there's, I got my questions.
If you want to do 15 minutes, we can.
What's up,
I'm trying not to go that long because I know you know.
I'm
all right.
Good.
So, y'all, of course, y'all know we are talking about tough love. I got this story off of Facebook. Shout out to you, Facebook. So, if y'all could just give me a second to read.
All right, we're going to listen to you.
Normally, I will make Chris read because he's on punishment, but I got y'all. All right. So, a prison inmate on death row was asked his last wish before he would be electrocuted in the chair. He asked for a pen and paper and then wrote, "Dear Mom, if the law was fair today, you would be here seated next to me, waiting to be electrocuted in the electric chair. But since the law is blind, I have been convicted for the crimes we committed together. Mom."
This is good.
Yeah. "Remember how it started? Do you remember when I was 3 years old when I stole my brother's sweets? You didn't correct me. Remember very well when I was 5, the day I stole my neighbor's toys and hid it at home. You said nothing. Mom, remember when I was 12 when I hid my cousin's ball in the garage, when he had come to play with us at home and you said you didn't see it, yet you did. Do you remember the day I was expelled from school at 15 years? Dad wanted to punish me, but you refused, and that very day you had a bitter argument with Dad because you were defending me. You said I was still young. You said the teachers were wrong and to say that I was not attending class. You defended me. You said I was right, yet you knew I was wrong. Mom, remember very well, you saw me steal our neighbor's bicycle when I was 17, but you didn't report I stole it. But you were silent, Mom. You loved me so much. Yes, you loved me, but you didn't correct me. Instead, you spoiled me. That is how it started, and it graduated slowly until today, when I will be executed for bank robbery and murder. I was very young. I just needed your guidance, Mom. By the time you will be reading this, I will be gone. Yours truly, your loving son. To all parents out there, the Bible says, Proverbs 13:24.
Yes, it does.
Those who spare the rod of discipline hate their children. Those who love their children care enough to discipline them. Love your children. Don't forget to discipline them. And that's really sad.
That is sad.
Sad.
I remember that story.
Yeah.
And the thing about it also, that ties into the scripture I always say. If you train up a child, when you train up a child when he's young, when they get older, they shall never depart.
Yeah.
And one of the main things you have to do, and just like I have done with my son, discipline him young. Even now, you know, if I die today or tomorrow, my son is always going to remember me telling him, you're a great man of God. Don't be a follower. Be a leader. He's going to remember that no matter what.
You hear that, King?
Every day I say that to my son. I say it to him in test. Hey, son, remember, you're still a great man of God. Don't be a follower.
That's
be
right.
a leader. Because, see, the thing I found about me being an officer in the correctional system, I found out that most of the dudes that we had trouble with was the ones that did not like their mother. And even to a point, this dude, we don't know the relationship, but I've seen dudes who have literally fought their mother. Who literally fight their mother.
I've seen it.
I don't even understand how do you physically fight?
Well, let me tell you something, because the
anger.
mother took the place of almost like being his girlfriend. Understand what I'm saying? She didn't become the mother. She became the friend and maybe the girlfriend. Not the sexual side of it, but because she put her place in it. It's like me becoming my son's friend. Homeboy.
So basically,
no, I'm your father, and you're going to respect me like that.
What's the lady named Ayanna Van Zandt? So she had it was an episode with one of the basketball wives. You know how her husband, I think it was Brandy, and her husband cheated on her with 300. He had sex with 300 different women or whatever.
Wow.
And you know he had a problem.
Yeah.
You know he was
Shorty caught a body.
Alcohol, all of that.
Golly.
So she says something to him that really stuck with me, and I would never forget. She basically said the mom controls her son's heart, and then the daughter grows up to be who her dad tells her she's going to be. However way he treated her, that's just what she's going to, portray. And then whatever the mom puts in her son's heart, he's always going to remember. That's his number one lady. So whether it's good and bad, he going to love you. But at the same time, he could not like yo. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's a tricky thing. That's what I had to really deal with guys who really have that middle place, who they knew their mother was doing wrong. They knew they was treating them wrong, but they still loved the mother. It's sort of like you loving that parent who's an addict. You know they're addict, but you still love them, but then you grow up to resent them. And so when you had those dudes who didn't like their mother, they became rapists. They became either they became homosexual or bisexual, whatever. It's so many areas that blows out, because that first mother instinct is gone.
Yeah.
And once you take that away, it's different with a father. The father is there to put it away. And I always say this: it's the mother's job to have you, but it's the father's job to raise you. And I think we need to get back to that notion that if the fathers would have stepped up, we probably wouldn't have had as many children out there doing whatever they wanted to, because it's the father that named you. It's the father that puts his hands on you. It's the father that leads you, say, no, daughter. No, you need to go this way. No, son, you need to do this. It's certain things I wanted my father to say to me, and he never did.
Exactly.
He never did.
Right.
So I had to look to the Father, Jesus Christ, to be my father, when nobody else could understand, and thank God he stepped in. Because if he didn't, Lord have mercy, what would have been?
And he will put people in your path that you need to come across. He will put people in your path
that will teach you and guide you the right way.
Yeah.
And you know, and then we had some that didn't have that. And they went the wrong way. But that doesn't mean the Father was not there, because a lot of us went through and we still came out all right.
You'll have a Father there. He's present, but he's not present. Active.
He's right.
There's a difference.
There is a difference.
With this tough love, you know, everybody just keep in mind that consequences change behavior. When there's consequences, it changes behavior. Now, some people they don't get it on the first 2, 3, 4, 5 tries, you know, but consequences are inevitable. You know, God, he always gives us consequences when we don't obey him. So don't think that anybody is exempt. Don't think your children is exempt. But anybody else got anything else to say on tough love before I get into my last question?
No, I'm good.
No, I'm good. Let's go.
Okay.
Let's go.
So let's just, and this is for you guys, okay?
Okay, thank you.
So let's just say your son, he's going with his mom for the weekend. He asks you for money for a PS5. Right?
I ain't even get my PS5 yet. I'm not giving him
but
no
you
money
would,
for no PS5.
if you had your son, yes, you would do it for him before you do it for yourself, because you know what's his is yours. Okay, listen. So you give, and you know how much the PS5 costs. Okay? He has a little brother, that's on his mother's side. You give the mom the money for the PS5 because you know what's coming out. Hey, this is what Junior want. Get it for him. You ask about a couple hours later, hey, did he get the game? She says, yeah, he got a game. Whole time, she didn't want to make her son feel left out because she didn't have the money for a PS5. So instead of buying that for him, she bought them both a Nintendo Switch. Something way cheaper than the PS5. But you sent him with money to get this game. But because she didn't want to leave her son out, her other son out, she wanted them to feel equal and use that money to get them something that they both could have and play on. Is that something that you would get up? Mr. Wilbur, is that something?
No, I can talk about it. Well, first of all, I would got the game anyway. But first of all, I wouldn't leave the other son out anyway, because that's just me.
Yeah.
I probably would have still brought him the PS5, but I would include the other son with something else too.
Okay.
Even though he wasn't my son, because I did that with Kenya. Anytime when I go on vacation, I say, Kenya, do you want to come?
Okay.
Because my thing is that she's still my daughter. Even though we're divorced and all that, she's still my daughter.
Right.
So whatever I do with Jeremiah, I always ask her, hey, Kenya, do you want to come? I offer that to her.
That.
Now, the thing about in that situation, I understand what the mother was doing, but she is out of order.
Okay.
Because the father, he's not acknowledging the other kid.
He's not aware that you about to do that.
He's not aware about that you do that. He has nothing to do with communication. He has nothing to do with the other kid.
All right, so can I say what Larry said?
Go ahead. What's up, Larry?
What's up, Larry?
He said that shit should have been discussed first and foremost. And if that ain't my child, hell
Speaking to the mic.
He said I would have bought that shit myself.
and played on it. Well.
But you say that type of stuff after you hear the scenario. You know what I'm saying? Because you're really entrusting that this other parent is going to do what you know.
But you know what? But of
that's
course,
why I say skipjack, because
did it happen?
No. Well,
okay.
I don't have no kids.
Well,
so.
no. I mean,
but if you bought something for one child. But then, and you meant it for that child, but they gave it to the other child.
No, because if I've bought anything for anybody's children, it was for, I got something for everybody. I never left nobody.
I got you right.
But
the happy
in that
meal.
I'm gonna just say it like this: if I took back my skipjack and I answered this question,
you can take back your skipjack.
I feel like Larry feels.
Okay.
Because if you didn't communicate with me ahead of time,
right? Yeah, it is what
I don't got enough money to buy my son, my younger son. I'm sorry,
right?
PS5, and I don't want to get my older son a PS5 and not give my younger son a PS5. Well, we could do one or two things. I'll get him a PS5 and stay at my house, or maybe if I'm feeling generous, if I'm feeling nice, I'll buy one for your son as well. But I'm not going to take away from my son because you can't afford to do for your other son as well.
And that's what I would do. I would do it at my house.
I don't really understand, and don't get me wrong, I'm okay with co-parenting however y'all feel like is the best way to co-parent. Me personally, I'm not about to extend myself and my resources into somebody else's child that I'm not dealing with your mom. I don't want to confuse the child, and I don't want to confuse you. And sometimes, in my experience, sometimes doing for somebody will give you a different idea on what we doing. If we decided we ain't going to be together no more, I don't really see myself going out of my way to do for you and your child. For what? I got somebody else I can do for. Yeah. I got other things I'm going to be.
I respect how you feel. I don't accept it, but I respect it.
But that's the honest. You mean, and see, you got to think about it too. There's a generational thing going on here too. Yeah. And also where I come from.
I was going to say, I've been through way too much.
Yeah, you've been, and when you've been doing that, run over and stuff, and you be like, what? No. Now,
and it don't got nothing to do with the new person or the person that we talking about or the child.
Right.
It's just about the principle behind it. And the thing about it is, if I don't. That man is crazy. I don't even see why are we even giving my money or the child money to get a PS5 when I can get him a PS5.
But there's a real scenario to this. Okay.
Okay.
And I just want you guys to just take a step back and understand that we always say it's about the principle. It's about the principle. And when we look at situations that happen all around us, we quick to judge and be like, oh. Damn you for this, or you going to hell for that, or whatever. But God could be looking at something completely different. He looks at the heart. We don't know what's in people's hearts. We just go by people's actions. So the real scenario is the mom. The mom sent her daughter off to the father because they was going on vacation with $150 so she could get some braids.
Okay.
And the mom asked the dad, did their daughter get her hair done? He's like, yeah. She's like, she want to see a picture. He sends her a picture, but it's not how her. Yeah. So she's like, basically what's going on, what happened. Long story short, he used that money for his other daughter. They both got their hair done, but
he made money for both their daughters.
Because he didn't have enough. Right. And the daughter was okay with it because her little sister, whatever, they had it. Yeah.
But the mother didn't.
But see, the thing about it is the daughter doesn't have any say in it because I'm sorry, she's the daughter.
No, and I get that. But I'm okay coming from an adult standpoint, and also from where I come from. I could never, no matter what the situation is, I could never see myself, and when the child is involved, I could never see myself getting upset about something like that.
Maybe I need to talk to my dad and maybe my grandfather too, and just ask them how
sometimes
they feel
it takes
it.
for you to hear somebody ask somebody.
But I feel like they would second me because I just know, like, number one, they not. My grandfather is not the type of person to kind of splurge on a PS5 or something like that anyway. But in the same breath, I just feel like my grandparents and my father would not be like, oh yeah, go ahead, do for the child too. Not to say that they would tell you not to do it, but if I told them that I wasn't going to do it and why I wasn't going to do it, I think they would just look at my perspective, my point of view, even if they had a different one, and not kind of coerce or convince me to do it, because it's like,
so dad wouldn't convince you to do something else?
No. I don't feel like he would, but I'm going to ask him.
Dad wouldn't convince you to do something? Okay.
Because you know what? Is it now that's where you come in with the generational thing. It's like, I can tell my son how I would do it.
Yeah.
And it's up to him to either take my advice or do what he was going to do. In that sense, pretty much that's what Chris is going to do. He's going to take it that way because it's a different generational thing, because the girls, the women of today are not like my mother and them.
Right, and it would be so much different if it was communicated beforehand. But because it wasn't communicated beforehand, it's kind of like you tried to, use the situation for whatever it was, and manipulate it a little bit. If you would have said, yo, I don't got it to do for my youngest daughter too, and I don't want to.
Communication is everything, and I really do agree with that. I honestly do. But if we're looking at the principle of things, let's just say he got his daughter's hair done, but he used the other half of that money and decided to buy himself a car shirt.
Give me my money back.
That's wrong to me. That's wrong to me. That's selfish. But for his daughter, he used it for a child that's involved.
But see, that's where this generation would do that. See, my mother and them, even though my father may have given Marcus money or me money, whatever, my mother going to use it for all of us because she don't want none of us to feel slighted.
Yeah, I would do the same.
And that's a generational thing.
Okay.
This generation is different.
I can't do
and
that.
So
I want to be
it's just
a billionaire one day, and I'm so sorry. I'm gonna give back to Baltimore, but I'm not going to
go into debt for Baltimore.
Exactly.
Right.
I'm not going to continue to put myself on the back burner,
Yeah.
my kids on the back burner, and
Yeah.
everything, and all my goals and dreams, because I'll never take care of me.
Right.
And everybody else will be taken
You
care
have
of,
to
and
be
I'll be
first.
gone.
You
I'm
have
not
to
going to say I
first.
got to
No,
be
you
first,
can't,
but at
because-
some point I have to incorporate Chris.
No.
Because if I don't ever incorporate Chris, and if I'm always like, oh yeah, let's give to this person, let's give to
let me
that
say
person,
this,
one day
Chris.
my stomach going to growl, and I'm not going to have no
But you're not
resources.
supposed to worry about that stuff.
I'm sorry, Bo.
But though, Chris, and as I say this for, the balance of life is dealing with, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. And one of the main things I get from out there is that you put God first, then you, then us, if you're married, then the kids.
Actually, not even supposed to put yourself first at all.
No. It put be God.
God
Then-
first, yeah,
God
but
first,
God
then
wants
you.
us to treat the next person like we would treat ourselves.
Yeah, but see,
and
the
to
thing
be
about it, the
selfless.
reason why I go with that analogy is because God is 1st. The man has to hear from God, or the woman has to hear from God.
Amen.
Then the children. Then them two. I mean, if you're married,
Right,
then
right.
the married,
Right.
and then the children come next. If you keep it in that order, everything will line up because you're always putting God at the center of things. And I think that once you do that, you'll never go wrong. You'll never, you may make some mistakes because the father may do whatever or the mother may do whatever. But most of the time, if you put him first in everything, then no matter what. And that's the key with this generation. This generation is more selfless. It's so selfless. It's just like, it's all about me.
No, they're selfish.
I mean, selfish. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
Okay, they selfish for
I'm sorry,
sure.
not selfish. Selfish. And I think that,
Appreciate you, bro.
That's because of society.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody taking selfies of themselves. Everything is about me. It's about me.
Yeah.
And that's the society we in now. And so it's hard to break out of that when you're in a relationship, because now in the relationships now, you're dealing with those sadistic folk like that. It's
Yeah.
all about them.
I got a question for y'all, and I know T said, we not
We
going to
got
worry
we got
about
10 minutes. So let's give us 15 minutes.
Okay, cool.
I think we were all 15, but go ahead.
Okay.
I heard what you said about if you put God in the center, then everything else will work itself out.
Matthew, you're not supposed to worry about what you're going to eat tomorrow or anything.
I'm not disagreeing with none of that. But I can tell you in my own personal experience that I have gone without. You know exactly what I'm talking about. I've sacrificed my own stuff to take care of somebody else, to do for somebody else. And what ends up happening is
You get hurt in there.
when it turn around become time
Your
for
turn.
you to take
I think
care
it's
of
a-
you
it's a
or for somebody
mindset.
else to take care
It's
of you.
definitely a mindset. Do you not? Okay, let me just ask you something. Do you think God blessed you 10 times over from whenever that time was? You just yes or no? Do you think God gave you back more than what you lost?
Yeah, the lesson.
Yeah. Well, let me say to
That
you
could
this
be
way.
really big in itself.
Let me say to you, it's a confession that I say every day. Lord, pray for those that despitefully use you. I say that on a constant basis because this world is cruddy and so many people are despitefully using you constantly, and you get used. And so I say that to keep myself humble, because I get used at work. I get used in the relationships. I get used in this and get used in. And so my thing is say, God, give me what you want me to have.
Exactly, because I know it's
Not
what
I need. Give me what you want me to have. because I want some stuff, but that may not be what I really, need. So God, give me what you want me to have. Give me what you want me to really go through this life with. And so now, as a seasoned person, I see that, especially in relationships now, I'm doing things differently than what I did in the past. But then I also know that I still have to guard my heart. And in guarding my heart, all I'm asking is that everybody be true. Now, that's a hard thing when you're dealing in a selfish society.
Right.
Because everything now is about get mines.
I'm gonna call you, yo.
I'm gonna worry about me. If
I'ma
you ain't
worry
about
about
me,
me.
I'm gonna do everybody
right,
how they
right,
do me. I be
right,
trying
right.
to tell people, look, it ain't even about that, because if God was to at any given point say, okay, I'm gonna do to you what you did to me.
Right.
I'm not gonna give you what you trying to take from somebody else, because
Right.
it's not always about taking back from somebody what you feel as though they deserve or don't deserve to have. Because if God was to just be like, okay, I'm done with y'all, that lake of fire about to be pouring in the room that you sitting in, it about to, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, we have to really keep that in mind, especially when we say we serve an awesome God. Understand who your God is, who our creator is. Like, it goes way deeper than the things that you see and the things you hear people say. Like, is with spiritual warfare, y'all. You don't see it, but I know y'all feel it.
And with the tough love, man, you have to. One of my main things, I probably did more tough love last year than I ever done in my own time. Letting friends go of long time relationships that I felt as though that, you know what, this is not going away. I don't know how in the world we stay friends this long when you're not been the friend.
Yeah.
And or you've been in a relationship so long and it's one-sided. Release me. Let me be free and you go do you. You can
release yourself.
Still
be forgiven.
I'm
the type, if you ever need anything, okay, I'm there. I don't feel like we gotta talk every day. We might have had a falling out. We don't gotta talk every day. But if you call me and said you need something, I just feel like the Christ-like thing to do is just to be there. Period.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Some things you just get to a point, okay, I had enough is enough. When is enough is enough?
Hey, look, sometimes you do gotta say, look, I love you, but God love you more. So
you go ahead and just talk to God.
That.
You need to be with God right now.
And a simple prayer never hurt nothing.
It doesn't.
Chris, Chris is in deep thought over here, and I'm worried.
He has so much
I'm
to say.
so
I think we're going to say
right
this
now.
for the next
no,
show.
remember how Chris was when he wasn't like nothing?
He's going. He's in somewhere else, and he's going to just be quiet. He'll talk after the show.
Oh gosh, we about to get the heat, y'all.
Yeah, we're gonna get the heat after the show. He got so much to say, but dealing with tough love, man. It's especially in relationships, dealing with the kids and dealing with your siblings and your parents, and it's so much that, especially with our parents. My mother showed me tough love. And you know where I probably got the most tough love at, really tell you the truth, is in high school.
Really? Oh, wow.
And that's crazy to say, because the teachers are different than the teachers are today. They really, the teachers really cared about you going to the next level.
They definitely did back then.
And these teachers like, hey, whatever, I'm just going to pass. I'm tired of them.
But that's what they have to do now. It's actually the no child left behind type of thing. Man, if you got F's in every class, congratulations, you going to the next.
That's not showing my son love.
No.
That's not showing him love. And
it shows that if he fails in life,
it's all
that
good.
Life is going to open it up.
Open up. He can do whatever. Right. And that's not the way. That's not the way.
I know some parents that told their teachers or their principals that they wanted their kids to get held back another grade because their grades wasn't good.
They won't hold them back.
Not now.
Back
then they did.
In competitions
back then
now,
they did.
you can see everybody get, with the little participation award, or everybody get a trophy at the end of the
football,
year. And they'd be like, yo.
Because they want them to feel included, but it's not teaching them nothing.
It's not teaching you that grind that you gotta go through.
Work for earn it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I mean, Deion Sanders said something on his little show I was watching. He was talking about, when you practice, do you practice because it's Tuesday and coach said y'all got practice on Tuesday, or are you practicing to learn something and to get better? And he said he was more tired after practice than he was after the game, because by the time he got in the game, They couldn't touch him. He didn't care if he was playing the other team. They couldn't touch him because he worked so hard at practice that by the time he got in the game, it was easy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The game wasn't long enough.
I prepared for this.
He practiced for 4 hours a day. The game only 2 hours, 3 hours. You know what I'm saying? So he got another hour of energy left in him. And when he said that, it was kind of like, yo, like even when I go to work now, I'd be like, yo, is you doing this to go through the motion? Or is you ready, make this company some money? And I be thinking about it like I really appreciate the company I work for. So I be going in there. Right. And I don't do it complaining like I bust my ass, but I do it with a smile on my face and joy in my heart. I'm sorry.
But you know what, Chris? That's one. Because the Bible says this. If you're faithful over a few things, he'll make you ruler over many. That's why you really have to grind at where you are. I tell people I love the little 2 days that I work at my job. I love it. The thing about it keeps me motivated.
Yeah.
It keeps me still like I'm still moving.
Right.
Keeps me still like, okay, if something go down, I know how to deal with it.
Right.
Because this is what I've been doing all my life.
Right.
And also I know that my expertise is what's needed at that moment, at that time. And so when you did, especially when you have a good team and all of y'all came from the same spot, from the same place, and everybody know their role. It's like when we go get somebody, extract somebody. You know to get the right hand, you know get the left hand. You know get the right leg, get the left leg. You know to get the center. We all work together to get one objective done.
That's important.
And the whole idea is that. And I'm glad you see that, man, because I told my son he wanted to get into the school, and I'm telling him now. I said you don't even practice every day.
You got
so even if you come over my house and just practice the 3 days that you're there, you don't even do that. So how do you expect to get there?
Train that child up in the way they should go. That applies throughout your whole life.
Man, I remember. I played receiver all my years of football, and I remember when I was younger.
Right.
It's 26.
8, 9, 10 o'clock,
right.
So 8, 9, 10 years old. I really couldn't catch. I'm sorry. I'm gonna say 6, 7 years old. I couldn't catch the ball.
Yeah,
and I remember. Shout out to Toronto Travis, my homeboy.
826. What's up?
Would throw the ball to me and make sure he would say crazy stuff to me to make sure I wouldn't drop the ball. Right. And it was like every day practicing catching the ball over my shoulder, catching the ball over my shoulder to a point where it didn't matter who was around us. The older kids could play. I would still catch the ball. They would hit me. I would still catch the ball.
Right.
I couldn't drop the ball.
Yeah, that's
and it like. So when I think about Dion saying what he said, it was like that was me right then and there learning. Like I'm doing this because I want to be the best, because I want to get better. And the kids in my neighborhood, nobody catch a ball like me. Nobody, never.
Yeah. So, conceited Chris.
Oh Lord, Jesus.
827.
All right, let's wrap this up. Yeah. Cause she didn't.
Everybody,
she about to be in trouble on there.
Hey y'all,
this was a really fun show. It was a good show.
Oh my gosh, y'all really gonna want to stay tuned for Friday, y'all. Oh my gosh. What we got going on Friday? Oh my gosh, did you forget, or you just trying to help me amp this up?
I'm trying to help you amp it up.
Okay, thanks for trying to help me. Hey y'all, we got a Fear Factor Rum TV edition on Friday, y'all. Oh my gosh. Fear Factor, I'm repeating.
Fear Factor Friday.
Fear Factor Friday for
y'all
Rum
definitely
TV.
Want to tune in on Friday for Fear Factor Friday on
Same
Royale
time.
Urban Media.
Al, he said Royale. 7 p.m. y'all. It's your host Cortese and Chris. Go ahead, Chris. What you got?
We're gonna wrap this up. We're gonna see y'all on Friday. Thank you for tuning in.
I was already wrapping it up though. Don't cut me off like that.
She doing the most.